This yellow sword art online deck revolves around the two goddesses, Asuna and Sinon. However, it has a very risky playstyle. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Mobby here, and today I'm going to be giving you my personal deck profile for this yellow sword art online deck. Make sure to like and subscribe, it really does help out the channel. I upload daily duels and deck profiles for different anime TCGs. Alright guys, here we go. These are the action points that I'm going to be using for this deck. This is another character that is extremely important, and it works out as a powerful support card. As mentioned, this deck revolves around both Sinon at 4 costs and this Asuna. However, you only get major benefits if you play those raid characters when you're at 4, 3, and even 2 life. It's very scary. However, let's talk about it. If you just want the deck profile, pause the video, head on over to my website, mobbytcg.com. There you can get all the translations, the proxies, all the deck profiles, and guides on how to play. Alright, so here we go. This is the first of our raid cards of the deck. This is Asuna. I'm just going to go Asuna. Stasia, the goddess of creation. Goddess. So this is important. The trait here is goddess. This one, it has no abilities. However, the trigger is powerful of adding this to your hand. This is going to be a 1500 BP. Next character is going to be Sinon. I said Sinon in a past one, but someone kind of corrected me and they said Sinon. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe someone else could correct me again. But anyway, this is another sun goddess, Solus, goddess. This one does not have the ability of adding it to your hand, but with 500 more BP, the trigger is a little bit lesser of just drawing a card. Alright. And for your last of your 0 card, the cost is going to be Leafa. I'm going to say Leafa, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Please let me know down below. But yeah, this is the character that's on here. It's a really powerful card. This one has Nullify Impact, and with a lot of characters that are 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, it's all about swarming the board and then summoning your 4-cost raid cards when the time is right. So these are your last of your 0 cost, and we are running 10 of them. Next, it's going to be another 1 cost. This is Asuna. Remember, the Asunas and the Shinons are raid cards. So if you have 4 or less life, this character gains 500 BP. Now, a 1 cost being a 3,000 power is really great. Early as a 2,500, that's extremely powerful too. So if you're actually able to play this on the front line, I recommend doing so. This whole game plan of the deck is attack early, and then when they're starting to overwhelm you, you're down to like 4 to 3, 2 life, then you attack on your raid cards. So we're running a lot of these because, yeah, this is a great card to play a lot of the times. Next off, we have another Sinon card. This is a 2 cost. So you can activate main once per turn. You can trash 1 card from your hand. Then this character gains Snipe, which is an amazing ability. However, you cannot snipe anyone that's 2,500 or more. Meaning that you can only snipe a 2,000, 1,500, etc. and lower. It's still pretty good though. Because a lot of the times, a lot of the early raid cards, like these that they throw in the front, is going to be a 0 cost that you're able to be sniping them out. So really work towards taking out as much as possible characters that you know they are going to raid on. So this is an extremely powerful card for that. You trashing one character to destroy one of their characters, it's a great trade because you actually choose what to remove. Also a 3,000 BP, so crazy good card, extremely powerful. Next off, we have Ts. How do you say this? TSA? I'm going to say TSA. But basically, this character is in here to give you some energy. When this character is active, plus 2 yellow energy, 2,500 BP. So we're running 3 of these. Now we have another Leafa. This is a goddess card. This one has Nullify Impact. Now you're seeing a kind of a theme here, right? With the other Leafa you're seeing here. Nullify Impact, Nullify Impact. The Leafa is all about support and just helping you, just survive, right? So Nullify Impact, the trigger here is Active 3000, which kind of goes with the character's theme here, and it's a 3,500 BP. That's crazy good. This is a good card to put on the front line. Probably your best one that is not any of your Shinons or your Asunas. Great card. So we're running 2 of these. Next, we have another Asuna card. This is a 3 cost. This is your 4 colors of the deck. When played, you can add 1 card from your life to your hand, and if you do, you get to draw a card. Now, this is an interesting ability because you don't really see a lot of these. Mostly in like Dragon Ball Super Fusion World you do. But here, you can add 1 to your life, and you might be thinking, wow, why do I want to take a damage? Well, like I said, you have to get to a certain amount of life in order to activate some abilities. For example, this Asuna. 4 less life, extra power. Also, your opponent isn't attacking you, so that card doesn't automatically get trashed. It goes to your hand, and you get to draw 2 cards. You place Asuna, you get a net of 2, and you get to work towards your abilities. Now, unfortunately, if you add it to your hand this way, you don't have the opportunity to activate any triggers. So, if unfortunately you end up getting a special, that's just too bad. You're just going to have to activate from your hand, but at least your opponent doesn't know you got it. The color trigger here is choose an opponent's front line, switch it to resting, or if it's already resting, it will be stunned the next time it would go to act at 3000 power and 2 energy. So you have a couple of 2 costs, 2 energies in the form of TSs and these Asunas. These are your only cards because you're only running up to a 4 cost here, so you don't need that many of these plus energies. But we have some Lisbeths as well. So this one is a rare. It's an ALO, so it has nothing to do with Goddess. 3 costs. When played, look at the top 3 cards. Grab a Goddess. Now it's extremely important. Remember, all of your Goddesses are important. You probably want to get the raid ones. Then if you add one, you have to trash one. The trigger here is draw 1 card, 3000 BP, and 2 energy. Best case scenario is probably going to be Lisbeth in the backline, as well as these TSs. I'm totally gonna get the name wrong again, but basically these 2 in the back line always, and then even if you have the other Asuna here, you're gonna be raiding on top of them, etc. So we're running 3 of these. Now for your 4 specials of the deck, this is Radiant Lights. Now listen to this one. This one's a little interesting. Choose 1 character on your opponent's front line with 5000 or BP and switch it to resting. If you have 4 or less life, sideline it. So there you go. This one is another one where, man, you just can't use this too early. So if your opponent rushes you with a lot of like raid cards until you get to 4 life, you won't be able to sideline it. So this card, it's very cheap, which is why it has that ability. But yeah, it's a little iffy, but it's still good. You know, just gotta save these until late game. The trigger here is choose a character on an opponent's front line and sideline it. So I'm running 4 of these, of course. Now time for your 4 finals of the deck. This is Homemade Pie. So the art here has nothing to do with Asuna. It just has to do with Kirito and his stuff. So choose 2 of your AP cards and switch them to active, giving you 1 more extra action to play for the turn. The final trigger here is if this is the final trigger, you get to heal 1 card. Next card, we have your 4 costs. Now these are going to be your game-winning cards working towards these ASAP. This is Leafa, Goddess of Earth Goddess Terraria. Yay, Terraria Goddess. So, Nullify Impact. As you see, every single Leafa is Nullify Impact. Extremely strong ability. When played, add 1 card from your life to your hand. If you do, this character gains 2000 BP, and this character cannot be chosen by your opponent's character, sides, event cards, or trigger abilities until the start of your next turn. This card is extremely good. First of all, because you're getting 2000 BP, you're going to be 6000. If you weren't already knowing, you know, the opponent is already going to be attacking you. If you're able to block that out, then wonderful. This character is protected. It makes sure that, you know, 1 of your life is safe. And well, we talked about this again. You are adding 1 to your life, so you're getting that card. However, if it's a trigger, then you just lucked out. You know, too bad. But you're betting on it's not a good trigger. You add it to your hand, and this character just gets really strong. So it's a crazy powerful card for the deck. The trigger here is active for 3000 BP. Running 4 of these. Now let's talk about your raid cards. This is Sinon, Son of Goddess Solace. Now remember, we have searching cards. We have searching cards for goddesses. So you are most likely going to be able to run a couple of these in your hand during the course of the game. So this only raids on Sinons. During your turn, this character gains abilities depending on how much life you have. So if you have 4 or less, when this character is played, this character gains Snipe. Meaning, if you play when you have 5 or less, if you have 5 or less, it's kind of annoying. The character just doesn't have anything, or 5 or more life. So yeah, that's why I say you have to use a lot of your really good and decent cards. You got 4000 power here, 3000 here, blah blah blah. So these ones are just gonna carry you until you can throw these out. But yeah, once you have 4 or less, it gets Snipe. Then if you have 3 or less, it's when played, so it's Snipe for the turn. However, 3 or 2, these 2, it's going to be permanent on your turn and the opponent's turn. So if you have 3 or less, this character gains 500 BP, making it so it's your basic 4,000 BP on your turn and the opponent's turn, with the snipe turn, of course. However, if you have 2 or less, this gains impact. So Yeah, that's very, very scary. Once again, playing that low, but you know, you usually are playing that low if you're playing any sort of raid cards in your deck. So that's how this character works. The best case scenario, snipe a play it at 2, best case scenario. Other than that, if you don't have a good play it on 4. You can at least snipe something out for 3,500. And by the time you play this at 5+ life, your opponent's not going to have anything you probably can't snipe on the board. So take out some of their really good raid targets. So running 4 of these. Now for this Asuna. Now this card is crazy. Okay, I want to let you guys know this card is insanely good. However, it can backfire a lot. So Asuna, raids on Asunas. When played, choose one character on your opponent's front line and one character with 1 or less energy on their energy line. Switch them to resting. Okay, you got that? However, if you chose 2 cards, you may swap them. There you go. If you have 4 or less life, you could also continue swapping them. Then they cannot move until the start of your next turn. So this character doesn't necessarily KO anybody. And this only goes off if you have chosen 2 characters to swap. Worst case scenario, you play when you have 5+ life, and then you choose 1 character on your opponent's front line and basically rest it. Front line and energy line and rest them. The best case scenario, you have 4 or less life, you get to choose 2 cards, swap them, and now you have messed with their energy line and they can't move. So this is in contingent in you having 4 or less life, and your opponent has to have 1 character in the back line that is 1 or less energy. Now, something like this, your opponent might not even bother running a lot of, 2 like any of these cards. Like, they're not going to run any 1 or less cards that you're going to be using for energy. So it really depends on the matchup, but it's a super crazy strong ability if you're able to pull it off. So that is the deck, guys. It's all about using Asuna and Sinon and Leafa as a great support and playing when your life gets low. It's a little bit of a interesting, dangerous strategy, and I think it's just, I think it's pretty balanced and well done. So let me know what you guys think about the deck. Are you going to be trying this out, or are you going to be sticking to another Sword Art Online deck? Because I think right now, my favorite might be close to this one or the other yellow one that we will be talking about soon. So thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and head over to my website. I have all the deck profiles up already. You don't have to wait for me to cover videos on them. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.